Well, hello, welcome to episode 163. My name's Ian Anderson Gray, and this is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. And you can find out more, and if you want to follow the show, just go to iag.me/podcast. This podcast comes out every Friday, and of course it's a live show. So if you are watching the replay, welcome. If you've just joined watching live, welcome too. I would love to know from you where you're watching from, and if you've got any questions for me today, because we are talking about the best microphones for live video. Now, I'm currently using this little microphone here. I'll be reviewing this as well as lots of other microphones as well. So I'm going to be going through lots of different things, including a bit of an unboxing, which should be fun. I've got a new microphone, which I've been wanting to play around with for quite a while. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. If you have just joined, as I say, just let me know where in the world you're watching from and spread the word. If there's anyone else out there who you think would benefit from this, would be interested in the best microphones, then just ping them in the chat. And I'd love to know from you, what microphone do you use? Are you happy with the microphone? Are you looking for something else that's better? And the thing is, I think a lot of us talk a lot about video and wanting to improve our video. We talk about now what's the best camera and things like that. But audio, I think, is the most important thing. It's because if people can't hear you, they're going to go away. You know, if my audio was really bad, you probably wouldn't be able to bear listening to it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I can see we've got Unseen Universe watching on YouTube, watching from over the Pennines in not so sunny Leeds. Yeah, what's the weather like here? It's actually not too bad here. I believe this is the last sunny day in Manchester. So great to see you on Unseen Universe. What microphone do you use? I'd love to know from you. Well, it's time to get on with the show, I think. Let's press record on the podcast recorder and let's get on with it right now. Hello, welcome to episode 163. In today's episode, we're talking about microphones. I'll be reviewing 4 different microphones that you can consider for live video. So let's get on with it right now.
Welcome to the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Helping you level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of confident live video.
Optimize your mindset and communication and increase your confidence in front of the camera.
Get confident with the tech and gear.
And get confident with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Well, hello. Ian Anderson Gray here. We're talking about microphones today. We've talked a lot about video. We've talked about mindset a lot recently. But I thought it's been a while since we've had a proper techie episode, and I want to talk about microphones today. So we've got some fun stuff coming up. This Thursday, in fact, or next week, if you're listening to the podcast, I've got the fabulous Anna and Fulians talking about branding, and they do some amazing cool things with Ecamm and other live video tools. So that's what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. And then next week, or the week after, if you listen to the podcast, we're going to look at the dreaded Web 3.0. You might not even know what Web 3.0 is and why should we bother with it. But there's a lot of talk about this in the marketing community with cryptocurrency and the metaverse and all this kind of stuff. So we've got 2 episodes coming up. We've got one episode talking about the metaverse and then a skeptic's guide to Web 3.0. So we've got all of that coming and exciting stuff, which I'm looking forward to. But in today's episode, we're going to talk about microphones. It's an audio episode, and we have visited this before, but I think it's been a while since we've looked at that. So I'd love to know from you, what microphone do you use? Do you have a series of different microphones? Are you happy with it? We're going to be talking about that today. And Unseen Universe watching on YouTube saying it's snowing tomorrow. Hopefully not. And also says, I've actually only been using the laptop mic, but I have upgraded to the Wave 3. That's from Elgato. Now, I haven't played around with that. I'd love to know what you think, but I haven't had a chance to hook it up yet, so the jury's still out. Well, let me know what you think about that. I've not played with that. I'm a big fan of Elgato's products, but when it comes to microphones, I really like what I've got currently. But there are loads of pros and cons, and we're going to be talking about all of those different things. So as I was saying before I pressed record for the podcast, I was saying that audio, in my opinion, is actually far more important than video. If your audience can't hear you, they won't bother to watch. Because if there's a lot of reverb and echo, it can be very, very tiring for our brains to kind of process that audio. Whereas, if the video isn't that great, we can cope with that. But hearing is really important. So in this episode, I'm going to be comparing 4 different microphones. I've got the Heil PR-40. I've got the Blue Yeti microphone. I've got the Samson Q2U. And I'll be doing an unboxing of a relatively new microphone from Samsung. It's the Q9U, which I can't wait to have a little play with. My son has been on at me for ages and ages. He says, Daddy, when are you going to unbox that and do a review? Basically, because he wants this microphone. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I think I've said why audio is more important, and particularly I think is important if you're going to be repurposing this into a podcast, because with live video you've got the video elements as well, but with podcasting you've just got audio. So if my audio was okay for podcasting, that would be okay for live video, but for podcasting, I think the quality needs to be even better. So for this show, because this is being repurposed into a podcast, audio is even more important. But I still think, even if you're doing it for live video and video for YouTube, I still think it's really important. So there are 2 different types. I mean, technically there are 3, but there are 2 main types of microphone. There's a condenser microphone and a dynamic microphone. And 3 of these, actually, 3 of the ones I've got today, the Samson Q2U, the Heil PR-40, the Q9U from Samsung, they are all dynamic microphones. And dynamic microphones, I think I'm going to sneeze. Am I going to sneeze? You never sneeze when you're going to say you're going to sneeze. Gee, and I couldn't find the mute button, so there you go. I sneezed. It's hay fever time. It's nothing else. But so they're all dynamic microphones, and dynamic microphones are perfect for podcasting, I think, because they're going to give you the best quality sound in an untreated room. So I've not got any acoustic panels in here. This is not like treated for sound. So there is going to be a little bit of reverb in this room, just a little bit. But also because this is my house. I've got an office in my house. And so I don't want my microphone to be picking up sounds from downstairs and things like that. So a dynamic microphone tends to pick up what's directly in front of you and doesn't pick up so much of the sound around you. So dynamic microphones are great from that point of view, but you do need to get up quite close and personal with dynamic microphones. So if you don't want the microphone in shot, then a dynamic microphone isn't obviously the best because you have to have it close up to you. And that brings me on to a condenser microphone, so such as the Blue Yeti microphone. This is a condenser microphone, and this can pick up the sound from further away. You don't have to have it quite so close, although I would still recommend that you have it as close as possible. And these can vary a lot in price. You can get some very inexpensive condenser microphones, but some of the really high-end microphones are condenser microphones because they tend to pick up more of the nuances and the qualities of your voice. So if you're going to be spending a lot of money, like hundreds and hundreds or even thousands, then they will tend to be condenser microphones. I'll go a little bit more into the different types in a bit, but those are the two types of main microphones that you can get. Now, the next thing that we need to talk about are polar patterns. Now, bear with me on this one because this might sound a bit technical. It's not as technical as it sounds. Now, on the Blue Yeti microphone, I'm probably not going to be able to get this in focus, but one of the knobs here allows you to change the polar patterns of your microphone. And basically, most microphones, like the one that I'm using here, the polar pattern, basically, it's where it picks up the sound. So it's directly in front of the microphone. Whereas on the Blue Yeti, I can change it. I can have it so it will pick up directly in front. I can have it to pick in front and behind, or I can pick up the whole all around it as well. So obviously, if it's just you want to have it picking up the sound directly in front of the microphone. Whereas if you're wanting to pick up, for example, if you're in a meeting and you want to pick up all the sounds around you, then you will want to do, I suppose, a complete 360. So the different polar patterns that exist, there's quite a few of them. There's what's called cardioid, there's super cardioid, omnidirectional, figure eight, wide cardioid as well. And this microphone that I'm speaking into at the moment is cardioid. So it just basically picks up the sound right directly in front of you. And there's a great article I came across on lewitaudio.com, so lewit-audio.com, and it actually goes through the different types of polar patterns, and it's really good. So the cardioid one, and I think it's probably called cardioid because it looks like a heart. This is like an upside down heart. So this shows you, it's like a complete 360 degree circle, and it shows you that it's picking up the sound at the top directly in front of you. So it's reasonably wide, but not completely like 360 or even 180. And so it picks up the most sound directly in front of it, but it has a little bit of a wide pickup sound. But when you get up to about 180 degrees, it's going to pick up not very much. And I don't know whether you can hear, if I go round behind the microphone, you probably won't be able to hear me anywhere near as well. So if I'm speaking down here, you're probably just hearing maybe the echo from around the room. So if I speak directly into my microphone, that's picking up the most of the sound. So that's cardioid. Let's go down. So yeah, so that's the cardioid there, and then we've got super cardioid. So this is probably when we get onto like shotgun microphones. You want to pick up it just directly in front of the microphone and nothing more. So this is good if you're wanting the microphone outside of the shot. Super cardioid. Then the next one is omnidirectional, and so this is basically complete 360. This will pick up all the sound around you. Now, this is not good if you're in a very noisy room, but it's kind of useful, I suppose, if you're wanting to pick up like music or whatever like that. I very rarely use omnidirectional, but that's omnidirectional. And then you get figure eight, which is great for interviews if you just have one microphone. So with the Blue Yeti, if I put it on the figure eight option, I can be speaking in this side of the front side of the microphone, and my guest can speak on the other side of the microphone, and it picks up both at the same time. So that is the figure eight one. And then there are other ones like wide cardioid and things like that. So lots of different options there to think about. But for most of us in a live show or podcasting environment, I think the cardioid or the super cardioid is what we want. So Unseen Universe, let's have a look at what you're saying. I do a lot of macro videography stuff. So I have multiple DSLR cameras that I use. So video quality isn't the issue. But I definitely want to start repurposing some of my interview style streams. So I think what we're talking about today is going to be more helpful for that. But I don't know with your macro videography stuff, whether you're doing audio as well, or whether you're doing the voiceover afterwards. If you're doing voiceover afterwards and you're not actually on shot, then getting like a dynamic microphone within a cardioid pattern is going to be what you want. And you're also saying that's why I felt a mic upgrade was essential for my next purchase. I think you're wave 3. I think you'll do really well there, and I'd love to know how you get on. Okay, so we've talked about the differences between condenser and dynamic microphones. I've gone through the different polar patterns to think about. And in most cases, we're going to want to go for cardioid or supercardioid. And on the Blue Yeti, I can't show this on the screen very easily, but it's pretty obvious when you look at the little icon for each one, which pattern you want. And I think if you put it on the cardioid, you'll be good to go. Okay, then the next type of microphone we want to think about is, do we want like a standard microphone that I've got here, which is, I've actually got it on a stand, on a boom arm. I can move this around. Do we want a handheld one? And I think for, if you're speaking at a conference, then maybe a handheld microphone is fine. But for this type of show, handheld is not so great because it's going to pick up all the bangs and the, you moving around, which isn't quite so good. But it does give you the flexibility to move around. So for this show, I'm happy just to stand still. And so a microphone on the stand is what we want. The other type of microphone is a shotgun microphone. And a shotgun microphone, I don't know if I've got a picture of one here. I should have sorted this out for earlier, but let's just put this into shotgun microphone. And the advantage with the shotgun microphone is that this is out of shot. So it means that you don't have to have it directly on the camera. So here is a shotgun microphone on Amazon. It's the Rode NTG2. It's a reasonably expensive microphone. This is £189. But there are lots of different ones. So there's a much more expensive one, the NTG3, which is about £400. But basically, this picks up directly in front of you. It's a supercardioid microphone, but it's also a condenser microphone. All of these types, the shotgun microphones, are always condenser microphones because you don't have to be directly in front of them. So I know a lot of live video people use condenser microphones because they like the microphone out of shot. And I totally get that. They are going to pick up more echo and reverb and other sounds, even though they are supercardioid, because they are condenser microphones. So just bear that in mind. So standard on a mic, we've got handheld shotgun microphones, and of course there are lavalier microphones. And I don't have my lavalier microphone to hand. I should have probably done that. But lavalier lapel microphones, and again they are condenser microphones, so they pick up a sound. They pick up the sound from. You don't have to have them right close in front of you. So that's the other one to think about as well. And I think they have their purpose because if you don't want the microphone in shot, if you want to be flexible to move around, then they are good. I think the flexibility that you have around is one of the big advantages with those as well. And then finally, you've got the difference in terms of the type of connector. So a lot of modern microphones now are USB, so you connect them directly to your computer. Now, the advantage with that is they're quick and easy. You just kind of plug it directly into your computer and you're good to go. But the downside with that is if you do want to upgrade your kit later on and use a mixer or an audio interface, you can't really use a USB microphone with those. So ideally, you have a microphone that has XLR or has both. And some of these microphones, if I could actually take this out here, have both. I'm probably not going to get this in focus, but this has USB and XLR. An XLR is the kind of 3-pin connector that most audio microphones will use. So you can plug this directly into a mixer or into an audio interface. So some, like the Samson, have both connectors. Some, like the Blue Yeti, the normal Blue Yeti only has USB. The Pro has both, I think. And then some of the more expensive ones, like the Heil PR-40, has only XLR. So yeah, something to think about. We've got somebody on Facebook who is saying, I can't see who you are, unfortunately, who's saying the Shure let's start again. The Shure MV7 thoughts. My Blue Yeti is now more than 10 years old and time to retire it. Yeah. So the MV7 is a most beloved microphone. Let's just put it up here. It's a USB microphone. Is it just USB? I think it is, isn't it? No, it has an XLR as well, so that's good. So you got both, and this is used a lot by people. It looks cool. It's what a lot of people are using now. It's not too expensive. I mean, it's £219, so that's probably the same in dollars. Shure is a very, very good make. It's got XLR and USB. Now, is it? I can never remember. Is this a dynamic? I think it is dynamic. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it is a dynamic microphone, so that's good. You definitely want that, unless you have a treated room. So I've not tested this out myself, but it's actually very similar to this thing, the Q9U. So they're kind of a similar style, and so I'm going to be testing this out today and see how we get on with that. But the Blue Yeti is fine, and we'll talk about that. But I think it is, if you can justify the cost of upgrading, then do that. And the advantage with the Shure MV7 and some of these other microphones is that you don't need to invest in an audio interface or a mixer, whereas with the Heil PR-40, which is, in my opinion, is a better microphone, although it's personal taste. This is XLR only, so you do need to invest in an audio interface as well. So it kind of depends on like how important audio is, what is your budget, and actually it also depends on like the style. I like the look of this one. I think this looks really cool, but some people prefer the look of the MV7. It's black and it's quite slick and cool. So yeah, just have a think about that as well. So. And you need to think like, do I want the microphone in shot or out of shot? Now, out of shot means that you'll have to rely on lapel microphone, or it could be a condenser microphone such as the Blue Yeti, and you can have that out of shot, or it can be a shotgun microphone. Now, the quality you get from those is pretty good, and for video, it's fine. I will say it's fine, but you're not going to get the same quality as what I'm getting here with a dynamic microphone that's directly in front of me in shot. And audio matters really a lot to me, and so that's why I think it's important to go for a dynamic microphone. And actually, I think it suits my branding. You know, I've got a nice little podcast flag, mic flag, that's what it's called, a mic flag. So it has my branding, has my image on there, and I'm cool with that. But I suppose in an ideal world, you'd have both. You know, you'd have one of these, but for other types of shows, you could have like a lapel microphone or a shotgun microphone. So just have a think about that. What's important to you? And I'd love to know from you, are you a fan of in-shot, microphone in-shot, or out of shot? What do you think about that? Okay, let's do some testing. So I've got the Samson Q2U microphone. So SAMSON. It's not Samsung, it's Samson, as in Samson and Delilah. And the Samson Q2U is very, very reasonable price. And this is one of the ones that I recommend if people are starting out. It's about £80 with the stand. I don't know whether they're doing it without. Yeah, it has gone up in price. It used to be about £60. You might be $60. You might be able to get it cheaper. But the thing about this is it's nice and light. You can put this on a stand, but it's XLR and USB at the same time, which is cool. So what I'm going to do is so that you can get a nice comparison between the Heil and the Samson, I'm going to plug this directly in to my Rodecaster Pro. And hopefully, now one thing I haven't tested Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I've got audio processing on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the volume down on the Heil and put the volume up, or the gain up, on the Samson, and see what you think. Okay, so this is the Samson Q2U microphone, and I'm currently using this as a handheld microphone, so it's maybe not going to be quite as you might hear some rumblings and bumps, I don't know. But yes, this is the Samson Q2U. Now, I can hear the sound slightly I can hear it slightly through my headphones, and it sounds great, but it doesn't sound as distinct and as clear. Some of the high frequencies aren't there. And so, yeah, it doesn't quite have that range, but it's pretty good. I think this is a great microphone to start with. And actually, I would argue it's better than the Blue Yeti microphone, but I'm going to be interested to know what you think about that. So this is the Blue Yeti. Sorry, this is the Samson Q2U microphone. It's a dynamic microphone. It has USB and XLR. I'm currently using it with XLR, but there you go. That's what that sounds like. Okay, and back to my Heil PR-40 now. So let me know what you think of the difference between those sounds. I'd love to know. I don't know how it sounds. And Unseen Universe is saying, I love your mic, Ian. Reminds me of a ray gun from an old classic sci-fi film. Yeah, it's a bit more retro, isn't it? So it kind of depends on your, what style you're wanting. Okay, so there we go. Let's now have a look at the Blue Yeti. Now, the Blue Yeti, I can't plug directly into my mixer, into my Rodecaster Pro. I have to use USB. Now, I've already got it connected. I'm just going to check the volume. Yeah, that's fine. The gain is quite high. Let's just put the gain down a little bit. I've got it on the cardioid pattern. And now what I need to do in Ecamm Live is I need to change the microphone input from Rodecaster Pro into this. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so that might be a little bit loud. Let's put the gain down. Because this is a condenser microphone, I can put this a little bit further away. So I can have this out of shot, actually. Let's just put that out of the way. And so hopefully you can hear me okay with this. This is the Blue Yeti microphone. I've got it on the cardioid pattern here. So I can put it even further away. So I've got it right over there. And it's still picking me up okay. And I can put the gain up. So, yeah, how does that sound? You can probably hear a lot of the echo and reverb around my office. But what I can do, and what I recommend that you do with the Blue Yeti, is to have it closer to you. So have it on the cardioid and put the gain right down. So I've got the gain right at the lowest setting now, and I've got it right close to me. And hopefully you can hear the difference in the sound. It sounds better quality. Let me know between the difference between this. This is the microphone right up close, and okay, I've got it right over there, but I've put the gain up so you can hear maybe a little bit more of the background noise. So that is the Blue Yeti microphone. It's a USB microphone, and I'll let it check on the price, but it's over $100, over £100, that kind of price. So let's change back microphones. Okay, so I'm now back on my Heil PR-40. And yeah, the Blue Yeti, I've had this for well over 10 years. It's been a very trusty microphone for me. I've used it for years. My wife uses it now, and it works really well. So the Blue Yeti microphone is currently, there's a black version of it. I've got the silver version. So on Amazon, it's £120. That's probably about same in dollars, $120. It is USB only, but you can get other ones in there. Now, interestingly, they do have some extra effects now. So this one has some effects. So it actually has inbuilt audio processing. So it has a de-esser, has a depopper, and a limiter as well. So that's kind of interesting. This is, and this is in a sense what a lot of the microphones now are doing is they're adding extra features and making it really cool. So that is the Blue Yeti microphone. And Untitled Universe says, yeah, sounds fine. Definitely more reverberated sounds. Low gain is much crisper when close to you. And that is one of the big mistakes, I think, that people do. And I did this as well with the Blue Yeti, is they have it far away from them because they want it out of shot, but they put the gain right up. And of course, with that, you're going to pick up all the other sounds, including sounds from like further down the road or in the house. So ideally, you want to put the gain as low down as you possibly can on the Blue Yeti and have it as close as you possibly can. And that will improve the sound. And ideally, you have it on a stand and you have like a pop filter like I've got here on my PR-40. And even what you can do also is buy one of these shock mounts as well, which means that if I knock my table, hopefully you can't hear that sound. I just wobbled my table a little bit, and hopefully you didn't hear any rumbles or bumps or anything like that. Okay, it's time to do a bit of opening of the Q9U. And this was sent to me by Samson quite a few months ago, and I've not had the chance to actually open it. So this is going to be really cool. I need another camera, one of these downward facing cameras, but anyway, you're going to have to make do with this. And if you're listening to the podcast, obviously you can't see this, but if you want to watch this, then just go to iag.me/163, and you can see this in all its glory. So the box, let's open the box, and immediately I can see we've got some cables, which is good. So we've got, we've got USB-C to USB-C cable. So I wonder whether this is USB-C, because the Blue Yeti and the Samson Q2U are both USB to USB-A, USB-A to USB Mini. So this one is USB to USB-C. So that's interesting. So obviously got the new technology. We've got the USB-C thing, which is good because a lot of computers, like I've got a MacBook Pro, and the only connectors it has are Thunderbolt or USB-C. So there we go. Now this is looking good. So we've got let's just put that on the floor. We don't need that anymore. We've got a nice little manual here. And here is the microphone itself. So it has a rather nice pop filter on it. If I just take the pop filter out, it's looking good. Now I wonder whether if I change the camera, you might be able to see this a bit better. So yeah, that's the microphone there, and then you can see we've got an XLR. We've also got headphones, and we've got the USB-C as well, which is looking good. So I'm going to put the the pop filter back, and it's also got the stand. It's actually got, it's, what do you call it? It's got the attachment built straight into it, so you can put that onto a stand, which I really like. You might be able to take it off, but this is not designed as a handheld microphone. I'm going to use it as a handheld for now because I don't have a second stand. But obviously this is to be used with a stand, and it looks pretty cool. I can see why my son really wants to have a play with this. It is a dynamic microphone, so you do want to have it really close to you as well, but that's what you do. Now what I'm going to do, because it is XLR, I'm going to plug this directly into my audio interface, into my Rodecaster Pro, so you can hear the difference. So I've got my XLR cable here. I'm going to plug it directly into here. Okay, let's do that. Now it's got something called mid on it. I don't know what the mid means. Let's have a quick look. Oh, got little, what else have I got here? I've got guarantee or warranty or whatever, and something else. Samsung Storytellers. So that looks good. So let's have a quick look. So there's a mute button. Where's the mute button? Oh yeah, okay. So that's interesting. So the mute button is here. So if you want to mute, you just press that. Okay, that's good. So we've got the mute button. What else have we got? Capsule element. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Mute button. Okay, so yeah, so we've got low cut. So when engaged, the slide switch will cut low frequencies by 3 decibels. So if you want to, use only if the signal is muddy or too bass heavy. So if you've got a very bassy voice, or if there's a lot of low rumbling around, then you might want to switch that on. Mid. So when this slide is engaged, you will hear a boosted mid-range on your audio signal, ideal for spoken applications. So we might have a little play with that. XLR, okay, we've got that. And then USB connector if interfacing with Windows or Mac. Note if using a smartphone, you will need a powered hub. Okay, that's interesting. So you can use it with your computer, with your phone as well. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to use it with USB, but let's have a look. So it also says an important characteristic of any microphone is its directionality or polar pattern. The Q9U features a unidirectional cardioid dynamic element. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So we knew that anyway. It's a cardioid microphone. Okay, let's try this. Okay. Ooh, right. That seems quite low. So I might have to do some boosting on that. Can you tell me what this sounds like? I might need to do some boosting. So let's have a quick look. Levels. Okay, let's level it up a bit more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's better. So in the Rodecaster Pro, I'm having to put the levels up a little bit more compared to what I was finding with the Samson Q2U. So you might find that you need to do that. But already I can hear this in my voice. So let's just do a bit of a difference between. So that's I can definitely tell with the Heil, I'm hearing some brighter, more resonant sounds. And now with the, this is with the Samson. It's a little bit more bassy, isn't it? Now, does the mute button work? Let's see if the mute button works. Yes, the mute button works. Let's have a look at some of the features at the back. Okay, so I've put the mid-range. Yeah, you have to apologies for the rumbling. It's because I'm using this as a handheld microphone, even though you're not supposed to. But that sounds good. Now, Katie's saying, welcome, Katie. It's great to see you here. You're saying it sounds great, but a bit quiet. Is it still quiet? Because I can boost the sound up a little bit more. So that is that's with mid-range on. That's mid-range off. Mid-range. I don't know. What sounds better to you. Okay, and then the other one that we've got here is we can remove some of the bass sounds. So let's try that. Okay, so that's removed some of the bass. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I can definitely tell that's more bassy. So yeah, I think this is a good microphone. I still think that my Heil PR-40 is a little bit of is a definitely superior sound. But what I do like about this microphone is that it's a nice microphone. The quality is great. It's got lots of extra settings on there. It's got XLR. It's got USB as well. But it's a good microphone. So if you've got more money to spend, than this, the Samson Q2U, and I still think this is significantly better than the Blue Yeti microphone. But this is the Samson Q9U. The Samson Q9U. So I'm back to my Heil PR-40. But yeah, hopefully you can tell that like this, the quality of the Heil PR-40 is significantly like better than all of them, I think. So the Samson Q9U is a nice microphone, and I think it looks really nice. Now, the thing about we talked about the MV, what was it called? The Shure, I can never remember the name of it. The Shure MV7. that's an expensive microphone. The Blue Yeti is about $120, £120. The Samson Q9U. So remember that the Samson Q2U is about £80, $80. But the Samson Q9U is about $100, £100. So it's only like $20, £20 more, but you're getting, it's like a really substantial microphone. So you've got to remember the cost here. So if you're on a budget, I actually think the Samson Q9U is terrific value. The quality, I mean, this is quite a beast. It really does feel quite substantial. It's a lovely microphone. And so if you're wanting to spend no more than about $100, £100, then I would highly recommend the Samson Q9U. If you've got a cheaper budget, and if you're wanting to have something that's more flexible, and you can also use as a handheld microphone, then the Samson Q2U is excellent, and I still recommend this today. If you're wanting to upgrade to the next level, then yes, something like the Shure, or there's the Elgato Wave, or of course, I'm going to recommend the Heil PR-40. The Heil PR-40 is not cheap. And of course, the other thing that you have to remember with this microphone is that you can't just plug it in via USB. All these other microphones I've showed today, you can plug in directly into your computer. You don't have to have any mixer or any audio interface. But with the Heil PR-40, it's XLR only, and it is a lot more expensive. It's about it's on a sale at the moment at Amazon, £340. It's probably a little bit more expensive in dollars, like $360. But it's a lovely microphone, and I love it. So that's the Heil PR-40 microphone. So yeah, I hope you have found that useful today. Unseen Universe says that sounds pretty good now. That was with the Samson Q9U. Not as clear as yours, but okay. And thank you, Katie, for joining as well. It's great to see you. I know you've been busy today, so no worries at all. But that is it for this week. I would love to know, just before we finish, which microphone you would choose if money was no object. But if your budget was around the £100 mark, $100 mark, would you go for the Samson Q2U, the Samson Q9U, or would you go for the Blue Yeti? Let me know in the comments why you would want to go for that. I'd love to know. Well, that is it for this week. On Thursday, we've got Anna and Fullions on the show. We're talking about using branding elements on your show. They are amazing. I can't wait to have them on the show. I'm really excited to hear from them. So that's going to be fun. And of course, next week, the week after, is all about Web 3.0. So you might be thinking, what on earth is that? Or, oh no, I'm not really interested in that. Well, I do recommend that you listen to it, because this is something that I've been skeptical about. I've not really been particularly wanting to look into it, but I think it is something that is going to happen whether we like it or not, and I think it is something that we do need to look at. So I'm going to be giving you a skeptic's guide to Web 3.0, and then we're going to be talking about the metaverse on another one as well. Great to have you all watching live. Thank you, Mitch from Unseen Universe. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, everyone else, for your comments and your support. But that is it for this week, and until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits to the power of Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Confident Live Marketing Show with Ian Anderson Gray.
Make sure you subscribe at iag.me/podcast so you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video.
And until next time,
Toodaloo.